everybody, we are live.
Hello.
So excited to see everybody. And thank you for joining us. We are having a few difficulties. So thank you for, keeping with us. Hopefully you can see us. Let us know in the comments. Can you see us? Are we live for real? I would really appreciate that. That would be great. I know we said we would be live at 7 and we've been late a little bit. So I apologize for that. But this is recorded, so this is great because people are going to be able to see us later on. Oh, I have 2 thumbs up for a viewer at home who says that we are live. Excellent. Oh yes. Oh, and Stewart. Hey, Stewart. Stewart need to come and join us here in the US. That would be amazing. Oh, I know I see people joining. This is great. Hey, Cindy. Oh, Cindy. Yes. We love Cindy. She's been to a couple of our retreats. So nice to see you, Cindy. Diane, nice to see you as well from Massachusetts. Yes, we have our usual, crowd who comes up, and we really, really appreciate that. So today I'm so excited because I am here with my friends. So Eric Rock, yay! Chris McGuinness, Tom Kuchara, Steve Morello, and Frank Smith. And they are all here to show you what they have been up to, show you a couple of their favorite image from this year, and also give you one tip. And in the middle of this live, we're going to have a big announcement. So you guys need to stay and listen to our big announcement, and you can ask us any questions. And I know that in the promotion of this video, I said that Lisa was going to be with us, but we don't have Lisa. We're very
No,
sad.
no, Lisa is under the weather, so she won't be joining us. And she sends her best to everybody, and she's looking forward to seeing everybody at the number of retreats that we have planned for this year. So we're really excited about it.
So I'm going to start sharing some photos and we're going to dive deep into what you guys have been up to. So hopefully it will work. Let's see what this does. Here we go. And hopefully we'll be able to see it or not. Here we go. Up, up, share. So I think that's what I will do for now. And I will go directly to Frank. And I have some information. So for those of you who are not following Frank, you should. He has an amazing YouTube channel. I really, really love it. So, and Frank, you post videos like you don't have like every Sunday, but quite often you have videos on new gear and some of your adventures, right?
That's correct. I don't have a consistent schedule, but I do try to be somewhat, well, let's just say it's periodic depending upon where I'm traveling and what I'm doing. So absolutely. Thanks for the push on that. But yeah, I just got back from the Azores. I had a workshop over there, and I'll be having some videos coming out on that shortly. But stay tuned for that one, if you will.
Nice. So let's go with your first image. That's the first image that you send me. I know where this is. I love this place, but tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. And again, this is for anybody who was in Maine with us this past year. And it was my first time there. And I owe a special thanks to Tom for kind of introducing me to the area. But this is just a lovely area up there. And we got up early one morning and headed out to catch the sunrise there. And we just had an incredibly gorgeous morning. It was one of those where if I had to design the morning, I probably couldn't have done it any better. But this place has really captured my heart. And I'm embarrassed to say that I've mentioned to folks that I've been to 49 states in the United States, and the only one that I was missing, and as a photographer, as I said, I'm embarrassed to say this, was Maine. So I can now check it off my list, and I can tell you that I will be making many more visits back to my 50th state, if you will. But just a lovely area. This is a shot, as I said, just as the sun was coming up, and we had the place to ourselves. It was absolutely gorgeous.
What did you use? Did you use any high res? Did you do, or is it just straight out of?
So this, ironically, since I'm going to be talking a little bit about high res, this
Yes.
is a tripod high res 80 megapixel image that again, I have detail in this that from a post-processing standpoint, and even from a cropping or just working with it in general, I have so much latitude. So if there's an image that I feel is potentially going to really be worthy, I'm going to take the extra efforts to do it in a high res, particularly with the tripod mode, because that's going to give me the maximum amount of opportunity, both from the standpoint of dynamic range and noise and several other things. But yeah, this is tripod 80 megapixel, and just really, really happy with continuing to be happy with the results that I'm getting using it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sunrise, and right before that, we had like the fog. It was just, yeah, the whole morning was just so beautiful. You should sell that maybe to the Maine tourism.
There you go.
I mean, and that's what happened when you go to Steve's house. Then everybody is just charmed by all that Maine has to offer. It really is a special place. So.
Yeah, it's certainly caught my heart, and I've mentioned to probably most everybody on the call here that I will be back again without any hesitation. Looking forward to it. So again, still embarrassed with the fact that it's the last state that I was able to put on my list, but nonetheless, it's now completed. So I'm very glad for that.
You saved the best for the last, the last for the best, or something like that. And I see more people coming up. So Richard, who was at one of our retreat as well. So Alison, Debbie from Long Island. How are you? So fun, familiar faces. So just keep on, telling us where you're from. And if you have any questions for any of us, just post them in the comment as well, because we'll be able to see them and answer them. So how about this one? Oh my God, so cute.
So this was down in our Virginia retreat, and it was, again, another joy to be down there with so many fellow like-minded folks on this. And I, of course, doing some macro work, and I cannot take credit for finding this little guy. And I can't remember in our group who's actually and Tom, maybe it was you or Lisa that helped me, or
probably Lisa.
It probably was. And
Lisa or Chris, somebody found it, because I remember.
Well, I'll give all of you credit, because it clearly wasn't my find, but what a fun time. And this guy moved around a little bit, but when I set up and used the AK diffuser on it, he was kind enough to allow me to get quite a few shots, and this is one that I think turned out the best. This was focus stacked, and you can see the detail, from the very tips of his, I don't know, are they called fingers? I don't even know, to the very end of his body, everything tack sharp. And again, one of the amazing features we get to use with our system to be able to capture imagery like this.
That is so cute. I love those little, toads. They are just, and the colors too, it's perfect. The attitude of the frog. How many photos did you take? Because it's like, okay, I'm done this time.
Well, and I will say I was not the only one photographing this, and he or she was very cooperative and allowing many of us. He did change positions periodically, but it was nice that he cooperated.
He was very popular.
Yeah, I think it might have been Lisa's charm that kept him in place there.
She does that. Lisa has that power over like frogs and insects as well. Like it's quite impressive. I think she should have a class on how to tame, your frog, and how to tame your insects, because she definitely has a gift there.
I think we should call her the the frog or toad whisperer.
Yes, I agree.
She makes them toad line.
I was waiting for something like that, Tom.
I can't help myself.
That is pretty good.
Well, I was
And
worried that maybe, the frog got your voice that you couldn't. Never mind. I won't go there.
this is, by the way, warning. If you come to any of those retreats, this is what happened. So you better come ready, because
It's a hopping good time.
yeah. And it never ends.
No.
Yeah.
How about this image, this third image?
So this was at the very tail end of that same trip, and again, for those of you who were there, we got off to a really great start on the last morning, and it was a little heavy with the moisture in the air, and you could sense something was coming, and sure enough, it did. This was we took refuge under a canopy that was there, and I thought, let's take advantage of this. And this is, of course, ICM in camera movement shot where we were all protected from the elements, and actually having quite a good time discovering some new opportunities. And as you can see, there was still, sufficient amount of light in the background. And all of us doing some experimenting with this, but again, making some good moments out of what was some challenging weather. So it was actually not a bad way to end the trip. And ultimately, when we started to head back, it did start to dissipate a little bit. But this was the tail end of the Virginia retreat. Just a fun image and fun time, wrapping this up here.
Yeah, I love all that green. It's just, I think you capture the essence of the forest here. And that ICM is not too much. It's just exactly what needs to be to make it very enchanting and just like very cozy. Even if you say it was like a rainy time, you've got that lush green. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And ICM, is that something you use a lot?
I do. It's, it's one of those things where, if all of a sudden you start getting yourself in a little bit of a rut and you're wondering, what are our opportunities here? And, am I, getting a little stale on something? Well, this is when I'll pull out some of the tools from the toolkit like ICM, or put on a fisheye lens and start looking at things from a different vantage point. And it's fun, all of a sudden your creative juices just start to spike and you start seeing things, with a different eye. And that's a fun way to capture some of the imagery out there.
Yeah.
I'm a strong proponent of, kind of finding or seeing the unknown that's there. And, these are opportunities where you can really take advantage of that.
That's true. Do you guys feel the same? Because I always feel like when I'm stuck, when I feel like nothing is happening and I'm not seeing things, I feel like the computational technology we have in our cameras, like LiveND, multiple exposures, like that's really helpful. That kind of helps me unblock my creativity in a way. Do you guys feel the same? Do you use those a lot, or?
Absolutely.
Steve, Chris, are you the same, or is it like, are you more?
I'm photographing live light.
Oh, we hear you, but from very, very far, Steve. I don't know why.
When I'm photographing wildlife, things are happening very quickly, right? So I'm concentrating on composing the subject with as much speed as I can, and then being able to capture the image before it goes away.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's true. Eric, do you use any computational technology as well, or?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
It's a good, if I'm having trouble creatively, I think, okay, hey, what could I do here? What could I pull in as far as the technical side that, OM system gives me? And I bring that into the situation, whether it's on my own or I'm out on a, say, a photo safari or a retreat or workshop, I'll definitely bring it into play.
And Frank, you had actually one of the computational technologies, one of your tips, because I thought what would be fun today is to give our audience one tip that would help them to improve with their photography or that you find useful. So what's your tip, Frank, that you want to give today?
My tip is high res mode, and I will tell you, with the style and type of photography I do, this is incorporated into every shot that I take. I say every shot, every shoot that I go out to. It may not be every shot, but I use this in so many instances. And just by way of quick summary, there's a couple of ways to approach it. We can set this up for high res as a handheld or high res with a tripod. The difference is in the way the computational feature works to capture the imagery, and with the handheld, it gives us a 50 megapixel image, and with the tripod, it gives us an 80 megapixel image. And again, an important factor here is that you can't have, you're not going to capture a cheetah going by at 100 miles an hour using high res mode. It is made for imagery that is relatively stationary, as you can see in the image that's on this page here. But again, the amount of latitude then that it gives you from a post-processing standpoint is incredible. And I jotted a quick note, when somebody says, what is it, and why don't we hear more about it? And long and short of it, it is probably the most powerful and yet the most underutilized computational feature in the OM system lineup. In a single click, you can capture, amazing detail, reduce noise at the same time, and unlock file sizes that rival medium format without having to carry all of that extra gear. And again, for me, when I'm in the field, I'm in some challenging places many times where I travel, and I don't have the benefit of carrying tons of stuff with me. And that's why the high res mode has really become a very, very important tool for me that, I can carry with me. I can, and I don't have to worry about sacrificing anything with it. The exception being is if it's something where there's a lot of movement. But in the case of things like waterfalls and skies, I actually embrace the movement when utilizing the high res mode, because for me, it actually emulates or creates features similar that you would have with employing an ND filter. But again, I'm getting the benefit of a much larger file size. So again, my tip that I use almost every time when I'm out shooting, it's high res mode, and it's relatively easy to use, easy to set up on your camera. These are some of the things that at the retreats that we can show you the nuances and the benefits of that.
Yes, no, that's true. And I remember that you are the one who said, I use that for the water, for the waterfall high res, because it kind of works a little bit like live ND.
Yep, absolutely. And I get a file size that's 2 to 3 times, norm, and it's, again, a great tool to have. And beauty of it is it was a little challenging in the beginning stages of it, hand holding it, but now of the high res imagery that I produce, I would probably say 75 to 80% of it I'm doing handheld.
This is an amazing tool, and it's so funny because everybody's like, your 20 megapixel camera, and most of the time it's enough. But then, if you need to crop, if you want more details, if you need to have gigantic prints, this is like great. Just you have that, but you don't need it for all your photos. So you're right. It's a tool that's very much underused. So thank you for sharing this tip with us.
Absolutely.
And also thank you for sharing your free photos tonight and being here. Really appreciate having you. And let's move to Eric. And Eric, I think I muted you, so you might have to unmute yourself.
I think I did unmute myself. Can you hear me?
We can. Excellent.
All right.
So,
hey, that's you on the screen.
That's you right there with your Instagram as well and website. So, and I'll have all those as well in the description of this video, so you can make sure that you follow all of us for some inspiration like this one. Oh my God, I'm so jealous because you just came back, right? From this location, Caddo. Yeah.
That is true. It's just down at Caddo Lake and on the Texas side, of course. And I was just working through images from that to hand into the boss from that particular photo safari. And I like this image a lot because it reminds me, and I don't have to have like in your face wildlife all the time. I like to step back and include wildlife in the scene. We usually go down there just for the beautiful landscapes. I mean, it's just everywhere you look, there's just beautiful scenery because you've got these cypress that have color that change in the fall, and then just the whole environment of the backwaters there, and the swamps or um, in the lake areas, just beautiful. But we're photographing right in the state park, Caddo State Park, when this egret came working his way through the scene. I say he or his. It worked its way through the scene and just made for a beautiful place to drop your eye into the scene. And for me, it's one of my favorites from the shoot this year. It really is.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. I actually have never been, so that was on my list, and yeah, I need to make it happen one day. So you just had a workshop there?
Yeah, just had a 1-week workshop through Van Oss Photo Safaris. And the amazing thing about this place is, when I first started doing this tour about 3 years ago now, I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, if it was going to be that good. But you know what? I'm all ready to go back the next year by the time we finish our trip the year that we're into it. It's so inviting and just a great place, between the trees themselves, the Spanish moss, the reflection in the water. Some days you get mist on the water. This year we had some fog we were shooting through. It just added a whole nother layer to it. So there's always surprises. No, you can do kayaks, and you can take your own, you can rent them down there, or sign up for a kayaking tour. We use basically John boats with a little trolling motor, so we can move really slow and get into shallow waters. So, I can work with 4 people on that boat, relatively comfortable, and it's a nice, safe platform. And you could be photographing in almost any direction at the same time. It's really that kind of, I'm always reminding people to look behind them, look at the light coming in from behind, or the scenery behind us, because it's just beautiful to do that slow, like crawl almost through the swamp and looking at the scenery around you and photographing as you go.
Yeah, that's just gorgeous, beautiful image. And
hey, maybe I'll get a chance to take you down there sometime.
Yes, I hope so.
Man, I had a busy year, and it was really hard to pick out some favorites from this year, but I tried to kind of keep it either timely, like the Caddo Lake trip last year, or just light. This particular image of Cape Buffalo at this scene, or in Botswana on one of my photo tours this year, and these buffalo they're out on the Chobe River flats, and they're being chased by some young lions. The young lions aren't too serious at this point, but they're moving these buffalo around, and they're kicking up a lot of dust. The sunrise is just coming in, and shooting from another boat right at eye level. I can see the bank there in front of me as they're moving around in the dust. And to me, I looked over and saw the magic of the sunrise coming through the dust, and I just wanted to capture at least one good, strong image from that particular scene. And just to me, it's one of my favorites from the whole year, just because I'm really concentrating on the play of the light through the dust and the shadow of the buffalo. And to me, that there was a lot of energy in that, and so that's why it's one of my favorites.
Did you use the 50 to 200 for this one?
I did use the 50 to 200, but not on this one. I had it in the boat that day. This was a little bit further out, so I went to the 150 to 400. But yeah, I was lucky enough to take that in August to Botswana with me, and fell in love with it. So I've got a love affair with Africa, but also the 50 to 200 as well.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Yeah, what light. I mean, that's what we are, right? We're capturing the light, and it's very hard, because how do you isolate one individual with that group, right? So yeah, that's super well done. That's a gorgeous image. And I love this one. It's so simple, but it's just so beautiful. It works so well. And I like your treatment with the black and white as well. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Okay, well, first off, this is actually, I was using, when I do landscapes like this a lot, I'll often we go to computational features. I go into the picture modes. And this is done with that Drama 2 filter.
Oh, yes.
It's in the picture modes, and I love it for black and white. And I don't usually use the JPEG that gets kicked out. Instead, what I do is I use that to remind me what I was seeing. I go back and I take the raw file and I adjust it. Sometimes those JPEGs are a little bit too contrasty, and a little bit noisy. So I like to work it up myself and clean it up myself. And that's what I did in this. But the story goes how this came about. I was actually in a lake at this point, photographing from my floating hide, photographing waterfowl. So it was pretty early in the summer. And after about 3 hours, I'm pretty cold. I crawl out of the water, get up on shore, and I turn around, I look behind me, and there's a storm front moving through. I was like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. And so just as this cloud drifted by over top this hill, it's like, I got to nail that. And again, this is shot with that 150 to 400. So it's a little bit of a distance so I could isolate it, keep it simple. And that's exactly why I put this image in here, because of the simple aspect to it. So I like how it just kind of cleans up with that one cloud hanging there. And to me, this is a kind of image that, I would probably hang on the wall just because it has that real nice sense of simplicity. And
Yes.
really, that's when I lead landscape photo tours and photo workshops and stuff. I talk about, trying to keep things as simple as possible in compositions, because landscapes can be very, very complicated if you want them to be. So this is just simplifying a little bit. And one of my favorites from the summer for that reason. And you said it right when you said simple early on. I took that as a compliment.
Yes, no, and exactly that's what I like it's a minimalistic image and the power of that small cloud. It's, this is just, those are the type of image that makes me, really, really happy. I think that you, Frank, when I think of landscape, like you're really nailing those landscape shots. I'm so bad at landscape. I have no idea what I'm doing with landscape. So I always look for inspiration with the two of you. It's just stunning. And
I got to get you out on one of my photo tours, and so we can spend some time working on that.
yes, this is okay. That's a deal. We'll find some dates.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and we have a question from Deb. Hey, Deb. So for Eric, do you shoot in color and then turn black and white in post-processing while you use art filter? So you kind of touch on that, right? So you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I'll use the raw. I'll take the raw, which can be any color. It can be anything I want it to be at that point. And then what I do is I change it to black and white and make my adjustments on the black and white, which with this is it's usually just as easy as boosting the contrast a little bit. And the secret sauce for this to really get, the separation in the clouds from a raw is, dehaze. Dehaze is a hammer, but on these raw files, when you turn it to black and white, it really allows you to bring out the subtle difference in layers of clouds where a sky might look overcast, but use just a touch of dehaze, you pull that slider over, and it really brings out the edges of the clouds that are in an overcast sky and really help. But you'll introduce a little bit of noise and you go back and you clean that up with a little noise software.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what is your one tip? I feel like this was your one tip. That should be your one tip, but you have another good tip too.
I don't mind giving another one. For me, I'd like to talk about a way to get better at photography. And it comes back to what my mentor told me back when I was in college. This is over 35 years ago. He said, Eric, you got to get out and photograph more. Look through the viewfinder, take more photos. And that was in the film days. So it was a little bit different. It wasn't quite as easy as what it is today. But if you want to get better at photography, and almost every aspect of photography, I recommend doing photo walks. Now, what is a photo walk? A photo walk is basically a walk with your camera. I try to do this when I'm not out on leading photo tours or workshops or the retreats. I pretty much try to do a photo walk every single day. A photo walk it can be what you want it to be. It can be from an organized perspective. It could be a camera club or a camera shop. They often do photo walks where they have you sign up and take you out somewhere and you walk around, talk about what you're seeing and photograph. So it can be organized. It could also be just yourself going out there or going out with friends, other photographers. Yes. Maybe they're not even photographers. They just like to walk. So get out with your camera, look through that viewfinder a little bit more, and at the same time, take pictures. Now, what I'll tell you about that is this will help you develop your vision. But along the way, you're also doing something healthy. That photo walk can be just around your block. It could be a local trail, what I do a lot here, or local park, get out into the national forest. There are many places you can just get out and go for a walk. And that can be focused on, say, landscapes, wildlife, birding. Birding for birds is amazing. walk along a lake somewhere. There's always that's a nice interface for images, whether you've got reeds or trees overhanging the water. There's all kinds of things to photograph. So it's a great place to practice and develop your vision. Neighborhoods are a great place for inspiration like that. That's because you're not only seeing something each time you walk, you're seeing it through the seasons as things change. And honestly, every time I walk the same trail, I see different things. And right now, I was out earlier today for a photo walk, and the deer are going crazy. So it's that time of the year. It's the rut for the deer. And I mean, I can't go on a photo walk right now without running into some white-tailed deer somewhere. Sometimes they're just as soon as I step out in the yard, sometimes they're on my local trail. But again, it's healthy, it's relaxing, and it gets you acquainted with your gear.
Yes.
And how many times I've had people come out and they're like, oh, geez, I haven't used this since the last photo tour, the last workshop. It's like, well, you want to be practiced with this. So whether it's muscle memory, knowing where the buttons are, but knowing how to get to those little tools you want to use in your camera, getting out and using them. Also, if you got a new piece of gear, don't wait till you take it out on a very special shoot. Practice with it on a photo walk. Also, maybe if I do this with old piece of gear, maybe I haven't touched a lens for a while. You know what? I'm going to put it on and go for a walk. Gives me a chance to get reacquainted with it. And really, it's my passion to do that. So hopefully during all this, you get some great pictures too. So I encourage everybody, photo walks at some level, whether it's organized or just relaxed and on your own. Go ahead out and take some photos.
Yeah, and spend some quality time with your equipment, right? That's important. You need to get to know your equipment. You need to practice. That's just so important. So thank you. That is a really, really good advice.
I know you do your macro photo walks, and that's an excellent way to do macro photography.
I do, yeah. And sometimes just, the one lens challenge, or I'm going to just go and spend on that one tree, and I'm going to be on that one tree, that one area for a week and see what I can get. Those are really good challenge. It really pushes you to be more creative and understand your environment better. So I love that. That's something that I try to do every day when it's not snowing and minus 30.
Oh, I still go. That's when you get the frost. Think about the macro.
Yes, that's true. But that's when I collapse usually. I'm not good with the cold. I need to be better. But I agree. Otherwise, I'm out every day. I try to do some macro walk inside my house when I feel like, that's a bit too risky. Then that's what I do. Excellent. So let's see who our next guest is, Chris. And Chris, thank you so much for joining us kind of last minute as well. Really appreciate that. I know that you've been super busy, so that's a treat for us to have you with us. So that's Chris' Instagram and website, if you're not already following him. Chris, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me tonight. Yeah, glad I could jump on. I know Lisa's not feeling well right now, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, but here I am. So
super
ready to talk through this stuff. I'll have a tip for everybody, and it'll be great. And I want to say I was glad that Eric mentioned dehaze being a hammer, because I've heard Eric say that exact phrase before, and it really is exactly what it is, right? So like he said, when you have that seemingly just white sky and you say, oh, I swear there's detail in here. I don't know. Is there detail in here? You grab that dehaze slider and there it is. So yeah, that's really good pre-tip to his tip.
Yeah. He's very generous man. He just gives all those tips, free tips.
It's true. So
how about this little guy? How cute.
So this was actually about a year ago, last fall. And this was on a night photo walk, looking for moths and caterpillars and using UV lights. And this is the saddleback caterpillar. And I've wanted to photograph one for a long time, and they are native to the area where I live. I had just never come across one when I had a chance to photograph it. And they're really a pretty small caterpillar. I mean, that's maybe an inch or so long, kind of a thick caterpillar with all these crazy spikes or barbs on them. And they are venomous caterpillars, so they can make you itchy if you get stuck by one of those spines. But this is a focus stack. This was a particularly challenging stack to edit because sometimes when you are stacking a high volume of shots, you have these out of focus areas that are intersecting and you get like a little bit of blur and you have to bring back in the sharp areas. So, but in the end, I feel like it was all worth it. So really happy to find this subject and get to photograph it. I think this was about 55 individual shots to make this.
Wow, amazing. You're laying on the ground and just eye
Yeah.
level with your subject and not breathing for the 55 shots.
Trying not to, yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Have you ever passed out from doing
I
this?
have felt like I was going to, quite honestly, a lot of times. Like you almost forget to breathe because you're concentrating so hard. You know, there's a little tip for everyone that try not to hold your breath entirely. Try to just breathe slowly and to kind of control your breath and exhale slowly throughout, because it's really easy to get caught up in the moment. I know you're at least half kidding, but you end up holding your breath and then you shake more and then you like gasp at the end of a series of shots. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Just breathe. But yeah, it can happen.
Yeah, when you start seeing stars, it's like, yeah, what am I doing? Oh yeah, breathing. There's that little thing called breathing.
Just that. Yeah.
That's the challenges of being a macro photographer. How about this cute little frog?
Yeah, so I love frogs in general. It's kind of like the smaller, the cuter, the better. This was a really small Stafford's tree frog. This is photographed in Costa Rica. And all the shots that I'm sharing tonight are all focus stacked, but the first one was an in-camera bracketed series that I stacked in post with Helicon focus, and this was actually stacked in camera. So this is an example of what a great job the in-camera focus stacking can do. This was a JPEG that comes out of the camera, you know, virtually no edit to it, right? Like it doesn't really need it. Yeah, you can adjust things like contrast and color a little bit in the JPEG, but it's great to have 90% plus of the work done in camera, and then you just make the little adjustments that you want to make at the end. And you know, the results can look really, really good. So this was, I believe this was 15 shots in camera, but really, really great subject and really cool to get the shot just like this, you know, with really very little work.
Yeah, this is nice. And where you were in Costa Rica, you had a workshop there?
This is an older shot that this was when I was in Costa Rica for the 90 millimeter macro promo shoot. Yeah. So 3 years ago.
So, you know, it's funny because that's the first time I think I've seen this.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So that's an exclusive. That's a Chris McGuinness exclusive.
Yeah,
Some
right.
of the old footage from the 90 millimeter macro release. I'm 99% sure that's the first time I see this image somehow. That was not used by OM System.
Maybe not. Yeah, I don't remember if I submitted to them or not, but I remember shooting it. It was on the back porch of the house that I was staying in, and Ted, who works with OM System, was there with me. We said, "Oh, there's a frog. Let's get it." And I got down and fired away.
Okay, so tell us, it's only between us, right? It's a small group of people. Tell us more about how many days do you have? Like they give you the lens ahead and then you have a couple of days and you have to shoot this?
Yeah, so I mean, as the ambassadors on the call know, I think every project with OM is different. It really varies, but for this particular one, I was actually the first photographer anywhere to use the 90 macro. So the first copy of the 90 macro was shipped directly to me, and I was working with the team at the OM office, and we were working on the project and saying, okay, we were planning it. I was going to go to Costa Rica, but just before I left for Costa Rica for the trip, I got my hands on the lens. Really had virtually no time to practice with it, and they said, okay, you're going to hit the field. So off to the rainforest, and emphasis on the word rain. It rained for about 80% of the time while I was there for 4 days. And that's when the video was filmed, if anybody's seen that launch video when the 90 came out. But also I had those 4 days to collect sample images. And the sample images were really showcasing what the 90 can do. and taking advantage of all the awesome wildlife and macro subjects that are around Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, what a trip. What a, yeah. It's a lot of pressure, but it's so much fun because you're like a kid, right? You just got that
Oh, it
land
was,
that
yeah,
nobody has.
so
And it's like,
exciting. Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
have some fun. And in Costa Rica. And I am also very jealous because you always have praying mantis. You always manage to find them.
Yeah, and this was just a couple of weeks ago. So this is, I thought it was a Chinese mantis, and then I later realized that it's a narrow-winged mantis or a Japanese mantis. They look very similar, but the narrow-winged mantis, which is what this is, they're a little bit smaller, and you can't quite see it in this photo, but right below would be like the tip of the nose. On the chest, there's an orange heart shape, and that's kind of a signature characteristic of this particular species. So, but those are the kind of things I really like learning about the subjects. You know, I didn't know that before finding the subject and taking these photos. And then as I was taking photos, I noticed, wow, I've never seen that orange spot on the chest before. I wonder what that is. And it's like, oh, that's a different species than I'm used to photographing. And I ended up probably taking hundreds, if not thousands, of individual shots of this particular mantis. And I chose to share this really because as I was photographing, there were these little springtails that kept crawling across the mantis. And here it's kind of right between the eyes, and it looks like the mantis is annoyed and looking up like, oh, I can't get you from here, but I'm going to eat you. And I really just like that look. And mantises are one of my favorite subjects because they always have such an expressive look, right? It's always different. Like sometimes they look goofy and sometimes they look angry. And you can photograph the same mantis from 100 different angles and get 100 different expressions.
Yeah, that's true. They are fantastic to photograph when you can find them. So I'm going to call you the praying mantis whisperer now. But that's also a good point that you mentioned. Like, you know, when you go out and photograph, you're learning at the same time. And there are, what is it, like the scientists estimate that there is 1 million insects that we still have to discover. So we like little explorers, go and, you know, get your camera, get out there and see, maybe you'll find some new species. That is really neat.
Well, you know what? I get the same sense of excitement if it's a new to me species, because so often I'll come across an insect or a spider and I'll say, oh my God, I just discovered a new species. Call National Geographic. I'm going to be, you know, this is going to be a major scientific find for the year. And virtually every time when I finally ID the subject, it'll say something like commonly found across Pennsylvania, right? Like it's not rare at all, but it's still new to me and I'm still excited for that period of time. And like you said, that's how you learn.
That's true. And so what's your one tip that you want to give tonight to people?
Yeah, anyone that's been on a workshop with me before, and I know the other ambassadors here have heard this from me before, everything that I've shown tonight is using in-camera focus bracketing or focus stacking. So when I'm using in-camera focus stacking, I like to use the maximum number of shots, which is 15, but I actually use in-camera focus bracketing more than the stacking option. And when I'm bracketing, everyone always says, how do you know how many shots to set your camera to? And we can set from 3 shots up to 999 shots. And I always say 999. And people say, oh my God, no way. I would never want to shoot 999. I say, neither do I. But I have no way to know how many shots is going to be appropriate. I don't want to do math. I don't want to think. I don't want to trial and error. I just want to make sure that I get the shots I need. So what a lot of people don't actually realize is that when you're using in-camera bracketing, you can start and stop the process. So if you're used to setting a predefined number of shots, like let's say 10 or 20, you press the shutter button, your camera takes 10 or 20 shots, and then it stops when it's moved back in space and acquired that number of shots. But if you set it to a bigger number, such as 999, and you see the focus move through your subject, you don't have to count how many shots it's been. Maybe it's been 5 shots, maybe it's been 35 shots, maybe it's been 67. But you actually see where the focus has moved, and you know that you've acquired what you want in order to make the stack that you want. You just press the shutter button a second time, and it stops. So it really takes a lot of the guesswork out. That doesn't mean that focus bracketing is easy, but it's one less thing that you have to think about. So I would say if you're struggling with finding that right sweet spot and how many shots to set your in-camera bracketing to, just go to 999.
That's a huge tip, because it's true that a lot of people are like, and it's like, don't think about it, just set it up, you stop it yourself. Like there is no, don't even bother with anything else, to be honest with you. Just click.
And one thing you do have to be on the lookout for is if and when you set your bracketing to 999, make sure that you have ample memory card space, because if you only have enough room on your memory card for, say, 500 shots, and you set the camera to 999, you're going to get a card full error, because your camera's saying you can't press the shutter because there's not enough room on your card to take what you're asking to take. So just always make sure you have enough space on your cards if you're doing that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Extra cards, right? Extra cards, carry those, especially when you bracket and focus stack. Excellent. Well, I think it's that time in the show where we should do our big announcement, our big news update. And I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if we should all do it at the same time. I don't know if Tom wants to take over and do it, but we are super, super excited because we've been talking among ourselves for a while and thinking, hey, what else could we do? We started with the macro retreat, and then people ask, we want more. Okay, how about a macro and a nature retreat? So we did one in Virginia, we did one in Maine with the nature retreat, and then we had our macro retreat, our second year macro retreat, and this year we decided to go even bigger. So if you go right now to our own page, and I'm going to put it in the comments, I
just got it there, Emily.
You did? Okay. Thank you so much. You'll be able to register for a lot of different workshops. So I don't know if Chris or Tom, do you want
I can run through the list. I'm going to read it right here because, like Emily said, there's a lot. Up on the screen right now, you see kind of that snapshot of what we've got planned for 2026. But starting in March, there's going to be a retreat in Florida, and that's going to be all about birds, right? Birds. And that's going to be with Steve, Frank Smith, Tom Kachara, and Lisa Kachara. Then in April in Virginia, birds, bugs, and beautiful landscapes. So that's kind of an all-around nature retreat, and that will be with me, with Frank, with Tom, and Lisa. In August in Cape Cod, landscapes, seascapes, night skies. That will be with Frank, Tom, Lisa, and Emily. There's more. Again in August, Vermont, landscapes, night skies, computational technology. That's with Lisa and Tom, as well as Frank. At the end of August into September, up at Steve Morello's place in Maine, we've got birds, creative endeavors, and beautiful time-swept landscapes and seascapes. So, of course, that's with Steve, with Emily, and with Tom. And then third annual coming up. Some of you may have been with us before, and it's been mentioned here tonight, the third annual OM System Macro and Close-Up Photography Retreat. So that brings you 6 ambassadors. So I'll be there, Steve will be there, Eric, Emily, Tom, and Lisa. And then that also has an opportunity for an extension for birds, lighthouses, and coastal wonders. And that's with Steve and Tom. So I may have missed something. All the details are on the site, and there's more things being updated. But the point is we've got a lot coming. So the link to the OM System Retreats website is in the chat here. And you can get to all of the individual retreats from there and add them to your cart. And there are some discounts available for alums. So if you have been to a retreat in the past, we want to give a special thank you to you. So reach out to us and we can make sure that you get that discount before you register.
Yeah. And as Richard said, happy holiday season, everyone. That's right. Treat yourself. And if you're booking right now, let us know, because we want to give you a shout out as you're doing this. Who's going to be the first person who booked their tour with us, their retreat? And it's so much fun because, as I said, a lot of people who are here tonight are people who already been to some of our retreats. So feel free to testify as well in the comments about the retreat. I feel like it's a great group of people. I feel like I'm always meeting new friends and new photographers and being inspired. And it's such a great community. And Cindy is actually saying, where is the post for all the retreats with info? So I think Chris put it in the comments. So it's omsystemretreats.com. Actually, I'm going to post it as well. If it doesn't show, so let me do that. OM System Retreat. So you can just click on it, and then we have one column that's the upcoming events. So that's where you'll be able to find all the information. And we actually made a little video so that you can see exactly how to sign up for those. So let me get that back to you so I can put it in the comments right here. Hopefully that will be helpful. And I will also have it in the description of the video as well. So you'll be able to sign up as well. Oops. So hopefully now, Cindy, you should see it. And Diane was also saying the same. So let me know if you can see it right now, but hopefully it should have been in the chat. I just posted it in the chat as well.
Yeah, mine look like they're coming through now.
Excellent.
My messages weren't coming through for a minute.
Yeah, it's that YouTube. Okay, yep, Debbie is confirming as well. Excellent. So you can sign up and use that code, because we want to make sure that we give you a couple of special offers. We know that it's the holiday season, so treat yourself, be happy. You get some good discount, and then you can come and hang out with us and meet some amazing people. I know that a lot of us are still, keeping in touch, and we also have Facebook account just for the people who participate in the retreat. And the last macro retreat, do you guys have it? I have it on me, but I feel like if I start undressing, that's going to be a different kind of show. But it is a great t-shirt. And you're going to get some t-shirts as well during those retreats. We have a lot of treats. We like to give away a lot of things. So sign up. You never know what you're going to get. And all the retreats are different. So you're going to get collectors at each of those retreats that is kind of fun to keep. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, and Yedi. Yeah, hey, Yedi. He said, we got it. You guys are the best. No, Yedi, you're the best. I hope we'll see you at one of our retreats. We had a lot of fun at the macro retreat. Oh, and yes. Okay, so Cindy's talking about a wheel. If you don't know what the wheel is, you're just going to have to come to one of our retreats so you can experience the power of the wheel. It's really fun. I'm not going to say more. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you will know once you get to our retreat. And then Alison, hey, Alison, is there a code? So yes, there is a code. And the code is YouTube 2026. I'm going to put it right now. It's only valid for 2 weeks. So if you put this right now, you'll be able to get $100 off, which is great. That saves quite a little bit of money. So it's 2 weeks. It's for the people who are watching this video. That's what we decided to give you guys. So make sure to use the code as well. And Diane said, love the t-shirts, which we had one from the first retreat. That's true. The first retreat, we had different treats. We had some good treats at that first retreat as well. So as we evolving, things are, we improving the retreat. We're taking into account some of your feedback to make it unforgettable experience. So that's true. Maybe we'll do Diane, you have to come back. That's it. You just have to come back to one of our retreats to get a new T-shirt. And Deborah said, what is the code again? YouTube, capital letter 2026. And I just put it in the comments as well. So you can see it here. Excellent. Perfect. Well, let us know. Keep us posted. Let us know if you sign up. We'll do a big shout out online right now. I want to know who's going to sign up first, and I want to know what they're going to pick. I don't know. There are so many different options. Like, I'm very curious. So let us know. Excellent. So, well, now that we've done this big announcement, let's talk to Tom. Tom, how are you? I hope you are not sick tonight.
Oh, no, I'm not sick.
Surviving.
I'm knock on wood. I'm not going to get sick.
Did you do that when you say knock on wood? Okay,
knock on wood. Whoa. Hi, everybody. I do want to give a big shout out to Lisa and Chris. You know, you guys work together in tandem and getting the website up and running and looking really professional. You know, and Lisa did a yeoman's work on it. And Chris, you know, last second, Chris, can you do this? Can you do that? You know, and lickety splitty gets it done. You know, so we appreciate that, and we all do. And I think we make a great team. We bring different things together, you know, and we're a lot stronger as a group, you know, and it shows. You know, one of the first things that
Tom, do you know, just a quick question from Linda, where do we fly into for Virginia workshop?
That is you got Reagan Airport, and I think Dulles, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the one.
Where you're coming from. Some people have flown in. We had one guy from Texas. He flew in last year, and I think it was Reagan.
Yes.
And we're going to be
Reagan or Dulles. Yep.
Yeah, either one would be appropriate.
Yeah. And the place we're going is really, really fun. Lots of action. Excuse me, bugs. You know, landscape, birds. You know, that's where Frank got some of his good stuff. That's where Lisa and I get a lot of good stuff. You know.
Hey, did you have Rob Track? I think he told me he came to your retreat.
Yes. Rob actually learned how to photograph in the rain.
Yay.
You know, last year a lot of us learned how to photograph in the rain.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and that's one of the nice things about the OM system. You know, I was talking to somebody who interviewed us, and it kind of referred it as like a Swiss Army knife of cameras.
It is.
You know? It really does show, you know, its versatility when you start to expand your mind. You know, and like Eric said, you just take it out. You know, use the computation mode. You can have some fun. You know, so.
Did you use this one? Did you use
No, that was, I believe, with the 8-25 millimeter. I was standing in about a foot of water in Maine, and I did a ICM.
Nice.
I think it was like 10 or 15 seconds. I went slow across. So it was really, really cool.
It's such a pleasing image. Again, like minimalist, simple. Yeah. I love those. It's just captured the warmth of the Maine coast so well, and I love that. Like, it's funny because the Live ND, it's one of the features I use the most when I'm at the beach, because it's just so tempting, and you can get so many different images as well, because all the shots are different. You're never gonna get the same shots.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I encourage you to use different lenses. Yeah. This was a light painted mushroom, believe it or not. And you know, I found this in the woods, and there were a bunch of little kids running around, so I had to hustle, get to it, photograph it real quick before they trampled it. Otherwise, it would have been gone, you know, never to be seen again. But you know, I like to photograph mushrooms, if we can get them at Steve's place, but sometimes, the weather doesn't cooperate. But, we find other things to photograph. And, this is something that you can find in your backyard or in a little photo walk like Eric likes to take, You just kind of go off the beaten track. Sometimes you get some great mushrooms. So,
That's
yeah.
true. I just love that little like orange leaf, that pop of color, just capping that mushroom.
Yep.
And you and Lisa, you are the master of the light painting. It's just,
Yeah.
all your work with light painting is just stunning. So this is such a
Thank
pleasing image. Like I want it in my kitchen.
This was a Daylight Live composite. So, believe it or not.
Beautiful. And okay, this one, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it makes it. It's like a scene out of Jurassic Park.
It
But
is.
the spoonbill's flying over it's a fish. It's called an alligator gar. Alligator gars can grow up to like 9, 10 feet, I believe. Weigh, I don't know, several hundred pounds or more, I suppose. But I don't know if it's by coincidence or the alligator gar thought he had a chance. I don't know. But the fact I was using my camera was focused on the bird, and I saw the bird coming in, and sometimes they come in low. You get some nice reflections. I did not see the alligator gar until after I started looking at my pictures.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so what did you use? Because I know you like to use the 150-600.
Yeah, the 150. I've used the 150,
Okay.
600, and photographed some really cool birds. Had a pileated woodpecker in my backyard once, and it focuses really close. And that little guy was close. Got some really good shots of him. But this is with the 150 to 400.
To 400.
The pellet converter, activated. And I use SH2 a lot, but a lot of times I use Pro Capture. But this wasn't Pro Capture, but this is SH.
And why do you prefer SH2? I know the answer, but just in case.
SH2 is it depends on what I'm shooting. And a lot of times it's 16 frames a second, you don't want to go too fast unless the bird is really moving fast, so you want to catch that minimal action on a bird. But SH2 is great because it allows you to capture fast action, and the focus is acquired very quickly. And we find that we've gotten more keepers over the years than we used to have, the old camera system. But those are the old days. Even now, I would not trade this system for anything else. I just love it. Portability, lightweight, gives us a lot more flexibility, to photograph birds, wild animals,
That's
so.
true.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Tom, what's your one tip for us tonight?
I think be ready for anything. And sometimes you won't see it until you start reviewing your images. And this is one of them. I don't know if I got another image in there. I had it.
That's it, because I only picked 3 images.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All of you had so many amazing images, but I thought otherwise we're going to be here for a week
at
least.
But I would say watch your subject, watch the behaviors, watch the minimal movement, the legs, the feet, the arcing of the back. When animals are stressed, sometimes they fluff birds, they fluff their feathers, or they look real tense. When there's prey and predator together, you can see that tension, and so you watch those movements, and sometimes that really gives you a good indication when something's about to happen, and just be ready to shoot. And when you think the action is done, it may not be done. So stay on the animal, because sometimes more things will follow.
Yeah, that is true. And it's so funny because that reminds me of Vincent Munier. He's a French photographer. He was twice selected as best photographer of the year by the BBC,
Mm-hmm.
and it just got actually a new movie released, and that's exactly what happened when he photographed the snow leopard, and he just photographed just a bird on a rock, and then a couple of months later he's editing his photo and he realized that the snow leopard is right there, right behind, that bird, and at the time he did not see it at all. He thought,
Yeah.
I can't see the snow leopard, is not here. So you get those surprises. Same for macro photography. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that Robert fly was actually eating a prey because it was so small. It's the magic. Like, we don't have to wait a couple of days to get our photo back, but actually in editing, post-processing, you get some surprising that are really, really fun to discover.
The one last thing is I was photographing a duck, and I always wanted ducks coming blasting out of the water. I don't know how they do it, but I finally figured it out, because when I took the picture, I noticed when the duck's wings dip forward into the water like a canoe paddle, and they push themselves out of the water. Where you watch, osprey, you watch eagles, you watch, geese and other ducks, they will flap their wings and they get air under their wings. Well, these guys just dip the front of their wings, and they just push themselves forward, and that's how they blast off. I was just amazed at the strength and speed and how quickly they can go vertical.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. Nature is amazing, and that's what's so fun. Like, you getting to spend time outside and just observe nature, and yeah, it's my favorite. It's very relaxing. Um, let's go with Steve. Thank you so much for that tip, Tom. So Steve, we're super happy that you're with us, because I know you're in between traveling the world. So you just have a quick stop at your house in Maine before going back, right?
Yeah, I'm just home for like a week. I've been down in Panama and Colombia, and then I'm heading back to Costa Rica and Panama again. And I'll be there for another month before coming back home. So yeah, you just got me within this week. I'm home just to have a cold.
That
and
sounds
then
like a
get rid
common
of it
feature.
and then go back. So yeah, that's my plan now.
It's the joy of traveling.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
But hey, in between, this is the type of image you're getting, because this is one of your recent one, right? Your last
Yes,
trip?
this is from the Panama Canal, one of the many little islands that are in the canal, and this is a red-naped tamarin, little chubby guy here too,
It's cute.
and yeah, very fortunate to get this guy, because the tamarins are not known for sitting still, and so I was very, very happy with this guy. Very pleased to get him, and I must say, the 50 to 200 millimeter lens, 2.8. Oh my God, working in excuse me, in the darker environment, in the jungle, with that 2.8 is just a godsend, and the speed in which it locks on to your subject. And before I mentioned that, I don't often use the computational photography to switch things out to get more ideas, but I do use them. And here was subject detection on the animals, and it locked on to the eyes just in an instant. So in being able to wield it around, because it's so lightweight, I was so happy.
Yes, I think that's one thing about that. It's funny because I have the 40 to 150. I love this lens, bright lens, great for low light photography, but I was missing. I didn't realize how much I was missing. Like not 150, but the 200. It does make a really big difference. And even with the teleconverter, if you need that extra reach and if you're okay with losing a bit of light, then this is a brilliant lens. It's so sharp, and as you say, you can do anything you want with this lens. Macro, landscape, wildlife, like that lens does it all. It's pretty amazing and just teeny tiny. It's so light. I just that's been one of my favorite lens to use for sure. So gorgeous.
And it was raining so much of the time in Panama, and being able to not worry about the rain also.
Yes.
Such a godsend.
Yeah. I've heard you scared everybody over there by.
That's right. Yes. I was with people and they were concerned about the rain and the cameras and everything. And we were underneath a building and the canopy, the water was just tumbling down off of the roof. And they asked, "Aren't you concerned about your camera?" And I took the camera, the OM1 Mark II with the 50 to 200, and I held it under the water coming down from the roof. And I said, "No, with the OM system, you can do this." And they were all aghast. And
Yes.
yeah, but it was fine.
It's
was
true.
fine.
It's pretty amazing what those our gear can do, and we're very thankful for them. Just
Yeah.
a quick, because I see Linda was asking, it would be helpful to have location details on the retreat website so participant can make travel and housing arrangement. Don't worry about it. We give you a general location because we obviously don't want to give you in details what we are doing, because we've seen a lot of people who just taking advantage of it and then flooding some of the location that we have. So that's why we don't do it. We want to give you a good experience on location that maybe other people don't go to. But once you register, we'll send you a little bit more details so you can make arrangement. We'll give you some housing recommendation and travel recommendation. So, and you can also email us. So any question you have, just send us an email. So that's why you will not see a clear detail location. That's just because we want to preserve the privacy of certain locations. So, and actually, I see that Chris answered that as well. So thank you for understanding that. So Steve, how about this one? How cool.
These guys here are crimson crested woodpeckers in Colombia. And obviously they're making a nest. This is a mated couple there. And I was photographing them. And the thing that really made the image to me was less about the birds and more about the wood chips in the air flying out. Because, we're storytellers. That's what we do with our photography. And we have one image and we want to put as much information in those images is possible if I'm an editorial photographer. So, and the fact that the wood chips were flying out, the woodpecker in the cavity would come out and then throw the wood chips up into the air. That's how that scene happened. That made all the difference in the world for me.
Did you use ProCapture for this?
No, I didn't, I must say. I was photographing an aperture priority, just a faster shutter speed. And I had my tripod set up, making images of the woodpecker, and just when things were happening, using burst mode.
Burst mode, yeah. I like burst mode too. I like ProCapture, but sometimes I feel like, okay, in this something else might happen and then I have to wait a little bit. So yeah, you really have to decide when to use ProCapture and when burst mode is actually going to be enough. And here, as you said, there's plenty of action happening. You're not waiting too long. So burst mode is it's good. Yeah, what a really cool image.
Yeah.
And
And I can't remember the last time I did a single,
no.
just use single shots, to tell you the truth. I always have it on burst mode, low, and I've just trained my finger, if I only want to make one image, to just
Yes.
release it one image. Mm.
Yeah, I'm like you. How about this one? This one is close to your home.
Yes, this is in the yard here, Cecropia moth caterpillar, and I was so happy to find one. And actually, I can't remember, it was myself or Susan who found them, but we ended up with 3 on one bush, and then later on another one on another bush. But I love these guys just because they're so colorful, so animated, and they don't have to move to be animated. They just look wonderful. And this is in camera focus stacked. Yeah, and I was just so happy to see them. I was out photographing them every single day that I was here and they were here.
I bet that's such fantastic creature. And actually, you convinced Chris to come back to Little River, to the workshop, to photograph them. Yeah, because Chris, you didn't get to photograph them when you no.
No, I
Oh
don't
no,
think they
he's
were there.
crying.
Or else they were. No one told me about them if they were there when I was there. But I
No,
did
they
get
weren't.
the. What did we photograph? The hornworms were there, but not
Yes.
the scorpion moth caterpillars.
Yeah, these were after the workshops, unfortunately. But I think
You have to stay longer.
I know. I'll just stay longer.
You have to move
Yeah.
to Maine.
Yeah, that's it. Just move.
Just move to Maine. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
this is amazing. And yeah, the Little River. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Little River a little bit? And actually, I'm going to stop sharing as well this. So
Well, Little River Photo Workshops, we are basically a nature photography school. Typically one-day classes, although a lot of people will come and join us for multiple days. And I'm the proprietor, but not the only instructor, Emily. Yes, if you look on our website, the 2 instructors that are our resident instructors, myself and Emily. And sometimes we do special event workshops, not as large as our big macro retreats, and a lot of times it's just private lessons.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful place. I mean, you guys, the work that you've done on this property is just stunning, and you have everything. You don't need to go anywhere.
Much rewilding as possible.
Yes.
Myself and my partner Susan, and we tried to create as much diversity in the habitat as possible to get as much diversity in our flora and fauna.
Yeah.
Great aquatic
will-
invertebrates too, by the way.
There you go, Eric. That's our
Yes.
newest.
That was
is due to Eric.
yes,
Yes.
that was amazing. And Eric, you are going to do that again this coming year, right?
I think I can have my arm twisted to do that. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe add some new stuff to it as well.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited. And it's so funny because I'm like, I'm not a participant, but I'm really excited to see what everybody's going to do this year. So we try to change things. So some people have come back twice to the macro retreat, but things are different. So we're constantly changing and listening to what you guys want to do as well. So, well, I said it would last an hour, but we already went over an hour. But it was just so much fun to see what each of you have been up to this year, and so inspiring. And thank you so much for sharing some tips as well with us. I know that it means a lot to people who are coming to this YouTube live. And thank you for all of you for showing up. Again, when you sign up, post a comment. We want to do a shout out to you. So I will do it on my YouTube channel in the coming days or weeks. So just post it, and we can't wait to see you guys. And I think I said that for everybody.
Yeah, and thank you, Emily. You're the
Absolutely.
most excellent host.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.
I
Thank you all
tried.
for joining.
I
Yeah.
tried, despite some technical issue, but we made it.
And we need your photos too.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yes, next
On
time
top
I
of all
just
the other work.
next time, because you guys were the star of the show tonight. That's it. And look at that. So Cindy said, "Thank you all. I see a Christmas present in the near future." Okay, Cindy, tell us what Christmas present. I think Cindy is kind of looking at the Cape Cod one, which sounds really, really good. So I hope we'll see you, but let us know which one you're gonna pick. Diane, thank you all. Yeah, so nice to see you, Diane. Hope to see you very soon in person. And Alison, thank you so much. Nice to see you all. It's so cool to see all of you. And thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
Thank you, everybody.
We appreciate that.
Thank
And we'll
you.
see you very soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.
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 Take care, everyone.